What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thanks for tuning in yet again to another episode of Ken Ross presented. Yeah, I said a podcast. Brain Chatabacha, I'm the dad half of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best, my co-host. Please introduce yourself to the floor.
How do you spell pay me? IRS. Yeah, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, month, year, hour, second, all that good stuff. If you watching on all the other platforms, please share with your friends, family, pets, enemies, all that stuff. Pie in the sky, all that stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, please share, comment, subscribe. Because if you don't, you're gonna get monkeypox. There you go.
Really, we doing that? We doing that?
All you gotta do is subscribe, go ahead, and you won't get it. So there you go. It's easy. That's your free vaccine.
There we are. All right. So we're going to get into it. We got an interesting show today. Got a couple of things to talk about. A couple of things I didn't realize was going to be such a big deal. If you might not have detected it, there's a certain amount of joy in my voice right now. We will get to that reason momentarily. But we're going to start off honoring a legend. The great Bill Russell, Celtics great player for many, many years, passed a few days ago. And if you know the NBA, you know about Bill Russell. And even if you don't know about the NBA, you know about Bill Russell. He was Celtics great. I was looking at just what he's done, and it's insane. 11, when basketball became basketball, we all talked about Jordan, so on and so forth. But the ultimate winner, you could say, is Russell. 11 titles.
It's not debate. It is.
Average 20 rebounds. Went up against the great Wilt Chamberlain. And if I'm not mistaken, Wilt has 2 titles. Bill has 11. And it's like he was another one of those guys that was much in that era, much bigger off the court. You look at everything Ali did, but then you look at everything Ali was outside of the ring. You look at, the names escape me. There's a few though.
Jim Brown,
and it's just
Kareem.
like Kareem, of course. And in that era, in the 60s, the civil rights era, so on and so forth, you weren't just a sports star. Activism was a part of some of these guys' DNA. Now, there are some guys who weren't. George Foreman, who had an issue with the brothers who raised the black fist during the Olympics. He wasn't with it. Cool. And then you have what I consider to be the bald fraud, Michael Jordan, up until just recently. No athlete before him had ever seen that kind of popularity or anything to that effect. And at quote unquote out of his powers in '91, Rodney King got the crap beat out of him by LAPD. Everything that happened after that, when the cops were found not guilty, LA tore itself up. And a certain Michael Jordan was quiet, the same way he was quiet when people wore sneakers with his name on it in Chicago and were killing each other over him. But to not get too far off topic, Bill Russell was an icon. And we lost a good one, but he left his mark. The MVP for the NBA Finals is now the Bill Russell Trophy. And we could really go on and on about everything he's done, but I think what's also just as, if not more important, is what he did, what he was off the court. And a question I saw posed on Facebook, and I was like, there's 2 of them. Did Baahston deserve Bill Russell? And do we think there will be a bigger celebration, a bigger, whatever you want to call it, recognition or what have you? The words escape me at the moment. When Larry Bird dies. Haven't really pondered deep. You and I were talking about this off air. I'll let you speak your piece though. Go for it.
Like I said, rest in peace to Great Bill Russell. He's probably, like you said, bigger off the court than he is on the court, which is crazy considering all the stuff he did on the court and revolutionized the game. Very few people can say that. But to answer the question, the obvious answer is yes. Larry Bird will be celebrated more in Boston. Probably not a league ride, but in Boston. His name is Larry Legend. Obviously, the great white hope. in a primarily, white city who still has problems to this day. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious that yes, that he will be more celebrated. That doesn't mean that he's greater than Bill Russell because he's not. And I'm a Larry Bird fan. He ain't Bill Russell. So, and he was an ally too. So let's put that out there too. There's nothing against Larry Bird, but it's Boston. As you said, I don't know if we said on this podcast or not, or all fair only, but they said LeBron said it. Kyrie, everyone that says it, you go into Boston, you want to hear some things. It's not the typical F you and all that stuff. You might hear something else that might cross the line. Same thing in Utah. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, Utah, you catching some strays. Well, yeah, I mean, I've said a lot of things haven't changed, and Boston sports have not changed. Yeah, they have not changed.
I have a question for you because this is where it's going to get tough. I have a question for you. Why do you believe Bird will be more celebrated at his passing? Because do you think this is a Boston racial thing? Or do you think it's the difference in era when Bird played? He literally brought the NBA back. He and Magic brought the NBA back. When Bill Russell played, it was still in black and white. This could, just putting it out there, this could just be a case of there's more coverage. The NBA was bigger when Bird was playing.
The NBA was bigger, but you didn't say worldwide. I mean, or countrywide. You said strictly Boston.
Right, strictly Boston.
Boston fans fucking crazy. And give it to their, and then, no, I mean this in this part, I mean a good way. They know their history. I mean, the Celtics were on the map and were a superpower because of Bill Russell. Then Bird came and brought it back. But dog, we can't forget that no one in Boston wanted him there. We can't just wipe that away. Like I said, people broke into his house and defecated on his bed. He was winning titles and MVPs for your city. You wouldn't serve him in certain restaurants. You wouldn't let him stay in certain hotels. If it wasn't for that, for his coach,
Auerbach,
being inventive and being an ally to a certain degree, then none of this would probably happen. So yeah, like I said, Bill Russell was the first black head coach and won 2 titles as a player's coach. I mean, he revolutionized the games, and Boston was the first team to integrate an all black starting lineup, I think. They were the first, yeah. So you probably had more black people around the country cheering for the Celtics than the actual people in Boston. I know that sounds crazy, but I've seen a couple of interviews of people and stuff that live during that time. I think Isaiah Thomas, the bad boy Isaiah Thomas, the original. Because people were thinking about the new one, but he's not trash.
Isaiah Thomas just dropped 40 in the Drew League, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'm not saying he's not nice, but it's one Zeke. It's one he got his name from that person for a reason. But third greatest point guard ever. But yeah, he said like his father when he was growing up, his father said root for the Celtics. It's like, why? We live in Chicago. It's like, well, they got Bill Russell and they're the only team to have all black, starting lineup, first to integrate completely. So like, yeah, I'm rooting for the Celtics. And then so he was a Celtics fan. So yeah, I'm pretty sure black people around the country during that time were rooting for the Celtics. Except Boston. Until they won. And then once he got off the court, I'm pretty sure he got reminded, like, still nigga. But yeah,
I don't know. Baahston is weird because they do
still racist now. That's what I'm saying.
But they embrace Tatum. They embrace Jaylen Brown. Like they embrace Doc Rivers. So it's weird. They embrace Kevin Garnett.
Okay. When you a good nigga, when you working for me, you winning for my team. The second you start losing, you're the opposing team. What did every superstar say on the opposing team when they go on TD guard? Is it called TD guard still? All right, whatever. Boston guard, whatever. And there, the green shit, the leprechaun. What do they say? You're gonna hear some crazy stuff. And
Yeah, LeBron
probably
said that.
LeBron, Kyrie, everybody said that. Like I said, toughest places to play, and if you're black in the NBA, which is pretty much everyone, is Utah and Boston. You going might take you back in time like you played in the 60s. The only thing is they can't do nothing to you when you get off the court. So yeah, Bird is going to be a bigger in Boston, even though he wasn't greater in any way. But it is what it is. It's Boston. I mean, I don't really care. Because Bill Russell is going to be celebrated more throughout the country and the world than what Larry Bird will be. And it also contributes to that, Larry Bird is probably the first and the last great, American caucus player.
Huh? Wait.
He's the first. He's the first, or he's the greatest American-born white player. Because all the other, white players that are great, like the Dirks, Jokic now, they're all international. They weren't from here. They weren't born here. So
now you got me thinking. Like I
said, I know Mikel's from here, but Mikel wasn't better than Bird. That's why I say he's the greatest.
Wait, who?
Kevin Mikel.
Oh, duh. Okay. Jason Williams didn't have the career Bird did, obviously.
Steve Nash is Canadian. So
Steve Nash is Canadian. Luka is not from here.
Luka's not from here. He might be towards the greatest. So Jokic is not from. So yeah,
great will man be the greatest. I hate that we had to make a distinction though, but I get your point because again, that's an era thing.
Well, the xenophobia here because we're players in the media now disrespecting players that aren't from here. Giannis, Luka, Jokic, Embiid to a certain point. It's like these are the best players in the league, but we refuse to give it to them because they weren't from here. So there's that. So that's going to be even more celebrated in Boston because even though he wasn't from Boston, but he's American and white and was great. So
okay. All right. I like you always said, we're going to revisit this point. That that's the prophet part of you when you said two things can be true. And it's a very simple statement, but I found in so many instances quite powerful. So you're right. Two things can be true. They're going to celebrate Bird because he's Bird. But again, it's a lot different. It was a lot different era than when Russell played. But we're not going to take it. We will not underplay everything Bill Russell meant to that team, even if it didn't mean much to that city, what he meant to Black people in this country. So like you said, it was definitely an era of when you're a good Negro, they love you. But when you decide to not be a good Negro and stand up for being a Negro,
same thing now.
Depends. LeBron is untouchable. Chappelle is untouchable.
Well, Chappelle was talking about one group that gets mad at.
No. I'm going from the standpoint of, but Chappelle. See, the thing is, and I don't want to get too far off, but the thing with Chappelle, and I think a lot of people miss this. He said specifically, he wasn't anti-trans. He's pro-Black. And that's the thing that got lost in all of this. He is always speaking up for injustices against Black people. Now, does it come at the expense, seemingly, of trans people or the trans community? Here's some of his humor. Yes, it does. And I get why they would be aggravated. And again, two things can be true. You absolutely can speak up for the plight of Black people and not take shots at trans people. I think that's one of the issues people have with Dave. But Dave is untouchable. LeBron, before he became even what he is, but nonetheless, he's untouchable. Like,
don't care.
He literally walked out of Netflix and they didn't pull his special. You see what I'm saying? That Dave wouldn't have cared. You're right. Dave wouldn't have cared either way.
If he was pressed, he has all the leverage. He doesn't care, and he's a legend already. So if you're saying that, then yeah, he's untouchable. LeBron to a certain extent is, but then not really, because he doesn't do anything to get him controversy. The thing that he did do that was controversial, which we did talk about, and now he did backtrack to that shit, is what he said when he spoke on the Brittney thing about not wanting to come back here. And what did everyone that's why I said you can talk about black people and all you want and pro-black and all that shit until you start talking about this country, because then your own people will turn on you, which is what happened. And that's why he backtracked. So no, he's not completely untouchable, but he's getting close to it.
I think he's untouchable.
No, he's not, because if he said fuck USA, it'll be done. He basically said that. And what happened? That's not, it's like I said, maybe your term untouchable is different from mine. Untouchable means you can damn near get away with everything. He can. He just proved that he can. If he could, he wouldn't have backtracked.
But like I said, I think that, and we talked about that on the show. I think it wasn't a backtrack. I think
it was a backtrack.
I think different people in this country read that tweet differently. And if you know, like I know, like I told you, if you know, like I know, I read that tweet as in, I wouldn't dare say anything bad about this beautiful country. Nod, wink, wink. Like, oh, okay, I see what you did there. Certain people took that literally, like, see, look at LeBron. He loves America.
I'm saying
us, we took that. I see you, fam.
Well, that's the thing about text. We never know what his tone is, so we don't know. We're just assuming. But I'm saying, if he was truly untouched, you wouldn't have to said that at all. I'm like, I said what I said.
No, because the problem is that my belief still is that he just didn't want to do anything to cause problem with Brittney BG getting back home.
How was him saying that going to cause problems?
Very easily. Very, 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 very easily.
He said he wanted her back.
Right. And he said he wanted her back after saying, like, why would she want to come back here? And the right ears and the right people like, well, after then leave her over there since it's such a problem.
They're already saying after that, leave her over there. Okay, we're gonna get to this.
All right, right. You know what? You done segued right into it. So, as of 3 days before our recording, Brittney Griner was sentenced. Excuse me. Brittney Griner was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for drug smuggling. I can't help but laugh. Less than a gram of marijuana.
A pin. Cartridge.
Here's where this gets interesting. And I've been posting about this on our page, and the reaction I've gotten is interesting. And I gotta say this much. There's quite a few people I'm ashamed of. One person, black person, might try to say, well, don't make this a racial thing. I said I didn't even insinuate. All I did was post the thing you sent me. We'll touch on that. The thing you sent me, all I did was post it. I didn't insinuate race at all. In fact, if I were counting of the list of reasons this is effed up, race is only like third or fourth on the list. Under no circumstance do I believe that the top of the list reason Brittney Griner is in prison is because she's black. Russia kind of don't like gay folk. There's that piece, right? But then let's look at the timing. Brittney Griner was arrested 3 days before Russia invaded Ukraine. Anybody think that's an accident? For less than a gram? Anyone think that's an accident? That looks like a political ploy to me.
This is all political. We know this.
Right. But what I'm hearing, what was blowing my mind, and I'm gonna get to the thing you said because that's important for context, is how I'm here. I don't know what you're getting on your side, but I'm seeing, well, black folks no less. Well, it's people here doing tall numbers for weed. We got issues we need to deal with here, and I'm like,
that's true.
She didn't have to go over there. She ain't broke, and 200,000 ain't no little amount of money. And I'm like, y'all missing the whole ass point.
She still shouldn't be locked up for that shit, though. Come on.
And glad you mentioned it because you brought it to my attention. Give me 1 second here. So less than a gram. Less than a gram. Right? Less than a gram. The reason this is important, and I'm reading this right off the Revolt page, is the headline. Russia released a Staten Island teen jailed for weed possession in 2019. Griner had 0.7 grams of weed. Yeesh. 0.7 grams. Less than a gram. Now, this is Revolt. This is Revolt. And this is why you got to be careful with the media, because the media can make things, a certain way. A 2019 incident in which an American white woman was caught, American white woman, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, because now we're making it racial. Doesn't matter. With 19 grams of marijuana, Audrey Lorber, who was 19 at the time, served 2 months, found guilty of smuggling 19 grams of THC while on family vacation. She was fined 15,000 rubles, which is 375 American dollars. Attempting to import marijuana purchased in the U.S. into Russia. So they went on a family trip, and she wanted to bring a little fun with her. Got caught. 2 months, bread, and
Carry on.
that's it. Carry on. Go on with yourself. Now, see, I get the headlines want to make this a racial issue. I stand by what I said. This is not a racial issue. This is the worst possible freaking timing. Nope, I can't say that. And I said, I say it's not, because if Sue Bird would have did it, we'd be having the same conversation. That's why. If Diana Taurasi would have did it, we'd be having the same conversation. I want to let them say if LeBron would have did it, we'd be having the same conversation.
No,
The result. Yeah, and that's why this is political, not racial. That's why this is political.
Wait, same conversation.
Let me grab a high profile American that will get Biden in the State Department to have a certain conversation. Because I also know I'm about to roll up on Ukraine. And to avoid the full weight of the U.S., I got something you want. Can't just roll up in here. Can't just really get at. You can't really get at me. I got somebody you want, fam.
We're not going to. That's why I said no disrespect. Who the hell do they think they have? This is, like I said, that's why I said it's not the same conversation. If this was LeBron, let's be realistic, this is no disrespect to anybody. He'd have been home the night he got arrested. And if he didn't, I'm moving to Canada because I'm not getting drafted for no damn war to fight for LeBron James. Fuck that. So no. This is not the same conversation. This is not the high, like, Brittney Griner is cool, but a lot of people don't know who she is here. It's not if you don't fucking watch the WNBA. So I don't know like who Russia thinks that they have. Because there's one thing that I'm going to say, because what they're asking for in return to trade, they want 2 people. They want an arms dealer and a murderer for Britney. That's an unfair trade.
I mean,
that's a horrible trade. That's like the Sacramento Kings making a trade, GM. Like that's a horrible trade. Like, why are we trading an arms dealer and a murderer? Like, y'all, who do y'all think y'all have?
Well, as I was watching ESPN, they watching ESPN reading an article. I can't remember which one, but they made a very valid point. The U.S. cares about its citizens. Russia cares about politics of it all.
Okay.
So that's the difference. The U.S. and like I said, if Sue Bird, and again, for anybody who doesn't know who Sue Bird is, now's your chance to go Google, or Diana Taurasi was there, I'm willing to bet my money we're having the exact same conversation. This has nothing. I think this has very little to do with race. Now, the thing that's getting me is the whole, well, she should have known better. She shouldn't have went. All this, what at least to me appears to be victim blame. And that leads to some other interesting conversations. That leads to, well, why does she have to go there to make extra money? Well, then there's the domestic violence charge she had. And so there's a lot of other questions and layers and things people don't want to. Yeah, and Russia isn't exactly, from what I understand, LGBTQIA plus friendly. And Russia, from what I understand,
A
is
lot
not
of places,
exactly the
including
friendliest towards black people. So now you have the double, possible triple whammy of
no true
being black
women.
and being gay. And I don't see. I don't know what they're really. I don't know how they treat women or black women. I don't know. But there's, a lot of, hey, if you black or if you gay, you may or may not. You want to check the temperature before you travel certain places.
It's
You know
every
what I
place.
mean? You want to check the temperature before you travel certain place. You want to know, like, yo, am I good, or they gonna be fucking with me a little bit? You want to check the temperature.
We do
But
that
the
here.
reality, yeah, you kind of have a point.
We do that here.
But
Come
no,
on.
no, 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 because there are absolutely places where if you are black, gay, and woman, you good. Baltimore
And
comes to mind.
Atlanta,
Baltimore comes to mind. Atlanta comes to mind. DC comes to mind. Places in California come to mind. If you are black, gay, and woman, you good. You in
yeah,
there,
but you gotta stay in that part. The second you leave it, it's a wrap.
which is pretty pathetic. But if you traveling abroad, you gotta check the temperature. And I'm like, I was having a conversation with a friend of the show who believes that what I found interesting is that they believe that she absolutely had the weed on her, and this is just really, really, really bad decision. And I'm like, I'll do you one further. I'm not 100% convinced. like
I'm not
if
either.
there, I'm
I
not convinced. Like, I'm not convinced. It could be bullshit, but
just rush.
if it was planted on her, what's she gonna say? You ain't planted it on me.
Yeah,
And
I
the
mean,
counter, the counter conversation was, well, no, because she actually does have a weed card in Arizona. Okay, cool. That actually, to me, strengthens my point. If I have a carry and conceal license, I get pulled over by the pigs. They say we found a gun. What you gonna say? Well, you had a carry and conceal license. They probably had a gun. I might not have had a gun on me the first, but you're gonna use the fact that I'm licensed to carry one to plant one there and say, look, we found a gun on him. Same shit. What's Brittney gonna say?
I
They
mean,
planted
you
this shit
can't
on
say.
me?
You can't say nothing.
Like, yo, you think that's gonna get you home faster?
You might disappear at that.
All right. You think, yo, they planted this shit on me. That ain't even mine. You think that's gonna get you home faster? Who gonna believe
Yeah,
you? You got a weed card. Why we believe? Why they didn't plant? Why didn't you plant someone? You probably had it on you.
yeah.
Yeah, that works.
But
Yeah, that
just
works.
but like I said, it's a cartridge. Less than a
With residue.
it's no bigger than an actual pen. Like yo, 9 years for
Right.
that.
And I'm just like, fam, I was like, how can you accept the fact that this is some bullshit politics, but can't accept the fact that this might have been planted on her? Because the American criminal justice system, they wouldn't dare plant evidence.
No,
No way.
nah, they actually found that shit. They did, you know.
Right. You know,
I
let's
feared
bro-
for my life. I was actually scared with my gun pointed and everything. He facing the wrong way. But hey, we gotta
yeah.
believe it.
Them brothers sitting in jail for rape charges right now, and they found all that fingerprints and hair. They wouldn't possibly get that wrong at the forensics office, would they? No. The listeners can't see my face right now, but if you could see my face, it would read something like FOH, and that is fuck out of here for those who don't know. So, but I'm a little flabbergasted at the whole. There's literally FBG, fuck Brittney Griner. I've seen that from black folk, no less. And I'm like, look, I get it. Just because you're black don't mean you're gonna ride for every black cause. I totally understand that. There are those of us who do not rock with BLM. But
Who does that? I do roll with I
the
don't.
organization, sir. The
Oh,
organization.
never mind yet. I don't on social
The,
media
the,
with that
the
shit.
organization.
Then no.
Right. So there's that. But we got a black woman in a foreign country over some political bullshit. And the victim blame is stunning. Like the amount of, well, she makes such and such dollars, she ain't broke. You can argue that point. The
That's
average
true.
American, you could argue that point.
That's
But I can
true.
counter, but I can counter that point. Why is it LeBron James makes her salary in like
Okay, you
10
can't
minutes?
counter that. You can't counter that. That's a dumb argument. Don't even go there.
How is
That
that
is
a
a
dumb
dumb
argument,
argument. Do
sir?
not compare her salary to LeBron. That is a dumb argument. A different league. That is
My
stupid.
bad.
This is
Ain't
why
the
we
hoop.
laugh at. This is why we laugh at y'all.
Oh,
Stop
my
it.
bad.
Don't go
Ain't the
there.
hoop. Ain't the
Don't
hoop
go
still
there.
10
Don't
foot?
go there.
Ain't the hoop? Ain't the hoop
You
still 10 feet?
don't
Ain't
go
you
there.
still running and jumping and putting the same taxation on your body?
Don't
Help
go.
me.
Don't go.
Help me.
Don't go. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's
Oh
not
no
go.
no no no!
Let's
We're
not go
on the
there.
street now, sir.
Let's
We're
not
on the
go
street.
there. Let's not go. Feelings will get hurt. It's okay. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's just leave that alone. We can do that another topic for another day because we're gonna be here for damn near 2 hours talking about this stupid shit that's really stupid that
How? How?
women know,
How?
don't make no sense. Stop comparing to other stuff. You're not that. Just stop. Just
Okay,
worry
hold on,
about
hold
your
on, hold on,
shit.
hold on, hold
Worry
on,
about
hold
your
on, hold
shit.
on,
Worry
hold
about
on,
your shit.
hold on. Because now you know me. I'm a let's put the feet to the fire. Let's talk about facts. The U.S. women's national team in soccer just sued and won for equal pay. If I'm not mistaken,
Because they're
women's
actually
tennis.
successful.
So we basing this on success now. But
Isn't that how? Okay. As much as I fucking hate capitalism, let's talk business. One's a failing business and makes no profits. One is $1 billion business and grows every year.
you can't
Why
do that,
in
and you
the
know you
fuck
can't do
would
that.
one person on the other side of a failing business get paid the same amount from someone on a way more successful business and a way more money pool to spread out to the players? They can't even afford fucking private jets for their own teams.
Bruh.
How are they going to make
So
millions of dollars off that? Where's the money coming from? Where?
so I'm just saying. So the 3 and D guy that's seventh on the NBA roster should make more. You just make some threes.
Okay,
You
all
play
right,
a
let's keep
little
all right, since you
little
want
wing
all
defense.
right, fuck. You want to go this, you want to go in. Let's go in. The 3 and E got to bust everybody in WNBA's ass. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Stop it. Like, I understand this is the shit that pisses me off about certain things and certain feminist aspects. Bruh, we are not the same. We are not the same. And that's okay. We should be treated the same, sure. But certain things they should be treated better at. Like I said, when they give birth and all that, should get more time off. Certain things are different. That's okay. It's okay to be different. Our anatomies are different. If you identify as a man or woman, I'm not getting into the other shit. But listen, it's okay. We're built differently. Our genetics is different. It's the same reason why you and I will give a lot of more leeway when a woman talks crazy and puts hands on you versus if a man talks crazy and puts hands. It's two different outcomes. It's two different mindsets. Why is it two different mindsets? Because you can look at plenty of fucking videos. There's videos in the military. So where they're, they're doing training, like combat training, right? So obviously in the military, there's men and women. So they had the men fight each other, it's kind of a draw or whatever. And then the instructor was like, yo, to the women, it's like, they don't care if you're a woman, blah, 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 you got to learn to defend yourself. So the woman was sparring with the man, and guess what the result was? We're not doing, like, I understand, I get it. Like, I rock with women in a lot of issues, but some of the stuff, like, we're comparing apples to oranges, my guy. Like, no.
Is
Y'all need
every
to stop worrying
team
about, like, this is what the WNBA needs to do, and I think for them to be successful. Stop worrying about the NBA and crying about the NBA and the pay gap. You're not getting that shit yet. The shit is failing. Worry about getting that successful. And the first way to do that is, I would probably lower the rims 8 to 9 foot. Just 1 foot, 2 foot down. See what they can do with that. 2, people also forget that the NBA wasn't always the conglomerate, because what did we just talk about in the first subject? The NBA was a failing business in the 70s, just like the WNBA is now. What happened in the 80s? The perfect storm. Magic, Bird. White, black. One in Boston, one in LA. Personality-wise, bitter opposites. A great rivalry. They met, I think, 3-4 times in the finals. WNBA needs to have their Magic and Bird. And then hopefully their Jordan. They probably just lost their Jordan in the freaking plane crash, which was Kobe Bryant's daughter, rest in peace, and everyone else that passed away, because that's Kobe's heir apparent. And we all know how crazy Kobe fans is. I'm part of it. You probably are too, I think. So we would have been watching just off the strength of that's Kobe's daughter. I'm just keeping in the buck. So you kind of lost your Jordan right there. So you still need to find your magic bird. You still need to make some rules to get people excited, or the people that do watch it. Because being honest, the people out here that watch this shit say it's fucking boring. They don't want to watch it again. So I said, that's why I don't agree with you on the NBA needs to advertise more, because they are. And the only reason the WNBA is still around is because of the NBA. They are funding everything from them to even have a league still. So y'all need to make the shit more exciting. You need to get a rivalry, your Bird and Magic, play around with the rules, and don't be offended, because I understand it's a pride thing. So they don't want to lower the rims and none of that shit, even though they already play with a smaller ball and stuff, which is perfectly fine. But what's the problem with lowering the rims? Hey, we'll see.
Because it's a girl on the court right now busting dudes' ass on a regulation rim. What are you talking? We go to the parks right now and see a woman in there crossing people and busting their ass right now. Regulation ball, regulation rim. Don't handicap them. And oh, by the way,
we're not the same. We're not.
And
it's okay. Right, that's not sexist or nothing. It's not the same. No, they're right not. Now. You talking about some rare anomalies, my guy. If they was actually trying, they would get sent every time. Like, stop playing with me.
I need to.
We're not doing this conversation. Is there anomalies out? This is not soccer or something. Actually, no, we can't even say that, because the U.S. women's team, international team, guess who they play? They played a college men's team and got whooped. So what are we talking about? There's too many.
When we're I understand,
done, like, even in women's tennis, Serena, right? Everyone says Serena can definitely play against me. They said, okay. There's plenty of videos of Serena. I think they had a doubles tournament where there was one man and one woman. Serena couldn't return the serve from a man. And then a woman actually on women's tennis was like, bro, it's a different game. They hit the ball harder. I'm not used to this. Like, it's okay. It's okay, man. It's not a diss. This is how we were built. I don't understand why, but it's okay. Y'all have strengths, we have strength. But just stop. Just lower the rim a little bit. It don't got to be fucking 5 feet tall. I'm not saying make a damn baby rim. I'm talking about, a foot shorter. You won't even know it's a difference. How many times we play on a rim you thought it was 9, but it thought it was 10, but it was actually 9 feet? We play in parts like that, where it's probably shorter or maybe taller. You don't notice the difference. So come on.
I mean, I can tell you this. I can send you footage right now. Liz Cambridge, she's 6'8" from Australia, and she was playing pickup ball at some local rec gym and just busting dudes' ass. Couldn't handle her at all. 6'8".
And say there weren't anomalies, but okay, you put her in the NBA, what would she do?
She's 6'8". Right, you don't.
Okay, wait.
You're 6'8".
So are you one of the believers because she's tall? Okay, you're one of those believers that because she's tall, that she would just be nice in the NBA. This is the same thing when we said about Brittney Griner. When Brittney Griner said, "I would bust DeMarcus Cousins' ass," when DeMarcus Cousins was in his prime.
DeMarcus Cousins is literally 6'10" and like a good 80, 90 pounds heavier.
So a 6'8" woman going to the NBA. So you'll probably be playing LeBron, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, all them. And she said that, come on, dog. Why are we doing this? Why are we even talking about this? Okay. I'm trying to see. I'm actually coming up with suggestions to help you. That's the thing. You can't call me a hater or sexist, yada, yada, yada. Because I'm actually trying to come up with solutions to fucking help the league.
I've been to a WNBA. I've been to a WNBA game. 2 of them, actually. It's actually good basketball.
And then 2, actually, hold up. How many, women outnumber us, right?
I'm aware.
This is a serious question. I don't know if you know the answer to.
Here we go.
How many women are watching the WNBA?
Y'all cast and watch that Bill Burr special.
No, I'm asking a legit question. Hey, wait, listen. Hold up. I can make an argument that more people watch college girls basketball than they do the WNBA. Why is that? It's the same game, it's just college. Why is college more exciting than the NBA, the WNBA? I can tell you now, the NBA, the college men's basketball is not more popular than the NBA. So why is it switched? No, it's not. But why is it? Why is it like that? And like I said, before you go angry at the men, look at yourselves and all your sisterhoods.
Y'all didn't watch Bill Burr, guys. Y'all picked on that one little thing.
I'm asking you a question because you're around all these amazing women, right? So I'm sure that some of them watch sports, correct? Do they?
We watch WNBA over here.
Answer the question. All the other women. Do you watch it like when it's on and then you like close to going to bed, or you actually watch the shit like?
Actually watch it. I watch the highlights on ESPN and watch the game when it's on.
So you're not actually watching the actual game.
I actually watched the game when it's on because it was a WNBA game on and it was some blowout NBA playoff. It was some BS.
Oh, game. See, that's not even your first choice. You just outed yourself. You just outed. Set you up, boy.
No. That's what it was. It was NBA Summer League. NBA Summer League versus WNBA. I'm watching WNBA all day.
So if it was a regular NBA game, who would you watch? Who would you rather watch?
The WNBA season doesn't go into the NBA season.
I'm saying, if it was on the same time, what would you watch?
Oops. The WNBA season doesn't go to the NBA season. That's not even a logical question, sir. That's not even a logical question.
Hey,
that's the beauty of the WNBA.
Listen.
You don't have to pick.
Listen. Nobody watch that shit. It's a failing business.
Whatever, yo.
I'm trying to. It's true. It's numbers. I'm not talking from for male bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that crap. I'm talking from facts. You're a factual person, or you like to believe you are. The fact that you're ignoring the facts because it's a woman is very feminine. You might be a feminist.
So whatever, B. All I'm saying is, if you haven't watched it, you don't know about that brand of basketball. And what's crazy is
people said they watched it and don't want to watch it
now. If you go to the park right now and watch brothers hoop, ain't no whole bunch of alley-oops and dunking and so on and so forth.
This is what you said, and this is sad. So people would rather watch the Rucker than they would the WNBA. That's a fact. People have said that. You have a better time sitting at the park than watching that shit. This is what other people are saying. I'm not saying this. So I'm just saying. And how many of their demographics or ratings is coming from women? So if y'all not supporting each other, what the fuck are we supposed to do? So no, I came up with solutions. Lower the rim. Find your magic bird. Find your magic bird and find your
Liz
Jordan.
Cambridge and Brittney Griner can dunk without lowering the rim. Why do we need to lower the rim?
Isn't Liz Cambridge, isn't that the one that just retired?
Well, she had an issue with the Sparks. So yes. She's not retired.
Yeah, but she quit like right before a playoff game. Not even after the end of the season. So how professional is that? Imagine LeBron James quit right
before.
Really?
Really? How overweight did James Harden come in because he wanted to get traded? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Stop. I'm just gonna eat donuts.
See, but the sad part is this is the reality though. But this is the reality though. And we all know optics play a thing. See, they can afford to do that. Because one, James Harden has made probably $500 million already. Two, the NBA is going to be successful with or without him. WNBA can't afford to lose their stars like that. Right or wrong?
Okay.
It's optics. I'm not, like I said, I agree. That is the same shit. James Harden quit on 2 teams. Back to back. Some bullshit. He quit on the Houston and he quit on the Nets. But
I don't know if he quit on the Nets. He just didn't want to be there.
Yes, he did. He put on weight and just stopped trying. He was dog. He quit on the Nets. Everybody knows that. But it's the same thing, but the optics is different because, like I said, James Harden can retire today. I'm not saying no one would care, but it's like you still have all these other superstars, and the business will keep going. WNBA doesn't have that luxury yet, so they can't afford to keep losing stars like this in that manner, because that's just going to be a bad look. And then all the, the that motherfucker. Andrew Tate, motherfuckers. Gonna be pumping their chest like, see, nobody wanna watch this shit. Your own players don't even want to play. So now you're just gonna give them credence. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming up with solutions to try to help this shit. I want to see the shit succeed. So you can call me whatever you want. I don't give a.
All I know is them women are highly skilled. If you watch, you see somebody get the shit crossed out of them, just like you would at the parks. Layup package is dope. Only thing you don't see is dunks. Like, and dunking that big a deal.
Nah, you don't see
because we can
no, you don't see the handles in the layups that you see in the NBA. Stop it.
You wouldn't know. You don't watch. What's the last game you watched?
Oh my gosh, I watched a game. Probably watched 2 games in the span of the last decade. So
right. So you don't know what kind of basketball is being played.
So
you don't know what kind of basketball is being played.
But I watched college women's basketball more than I watched WNBA.
That's like watching NCAA ball more than you watch NBA. You taking the best out of the NCAA and putting it all in one league. Like, that's why Zion left. I don't want to see Zion just abuse everybody in North Carolina State anymore.
And yet it goes back to my credence. And that's where the diss comes in. Why is women's college basketball more popular than the WNBA, considering that all their best players are now in one league? So you would think it should boom, right? Or why is it not booming? Why is it not succeeding? You still can't seem to come up with a freaking answer why it's not succeeding. And you haven't even came up with a solution to why it could succeed. I came up with solutions.
I came with a solution. You need more advertising dollars. The fact that you don't know who the top 5 players are says a lot. Where's the commercials? Where's the endorsement?
Is there equivalent of a Magic and Bird in that league? Answer that question.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Bro, I just explained to you. The NBA was failing in the 70s. Motherfuckers was on fucking cokeheads and fighting. And then what happened? Magic and Bird, it was the perfect storm. I agree. I'm pretty sure if this shit was a movie script, it would have been the greatest movie script ever. It might have been a movie script. But anyway, they need to make their own movie script.
Okay.
Put money into that. Find your Magic and Bird, and then once that takes off, get your Jordan.
Okay. All right, I'm a little bit. You know what? Bring Brittney home. There we go. Bring Brittney home. That's what we got. Bring Brittney home. End the story.
Oh yeah, of course. Bring her home.
And you ended off.
Yo, you started. I didn't want to talk about this. I didn't want to talk about this. You brought it out, bro. I said leave it alone, but you kept.
All right. Fine. In a somewhat celebratory moment, shifting gears, way back when in March 2020, when right before the world shut down, a young woman by the name of Breonna Taylor was executed by Louisville pigs. And it was a no-knock warrant. Her boyfriend, who was there at the time, did not know the pigs. That was the pigs kicking in the door. Apparently, they lived in a rough neighborhood. Those of you who have never lived in a rough neighborhood, getting your door kicked in will make you sleep with the blicky. And you will absolutely bust off first and ask questions later. Because he bust off, they shot through walls, and so forth, resulting in the killing of Breonna Taylor. And up until this point, these pigs have suffered no consequences. Well, that day has come. You have heard me, if you listen to the show, say Chauvin was the first domino to fall. That was the tipping point. And I've said it loud and clear. You pigs don't get to kill us and have nothing happen to you anymore. And this is another point of just that. So I'm reading this off ABC News. The federal charges announced today allege that members of a police investigation unit falsified the affidavit used to obtain a search warrant of Ms. Taylor's home, and that this act violated federal civil rights law, that those violations resulted in Ms. Taylor's death. You don't fucking say. But violated her Fourth Amendment rights when they sought a warrant to search Taylor's home while knowing they lacked probable cause, and that they knew their affidavit supporting the warrant contained false and misleading information and omitted other material information resulting in her death. I will continue because this is important. Amongst other things, the affidavit falsely claimed the officers had verified the target of the alleged drug trafficking operation had received packages at Miss Taylor's address. In fact, defendants James and Goodlett knew that was not true. So I'm just I'm pissed off right now reading that, because if you can read it like I'm reading it, you understand that realistically the bottom line of all of this is that Brianna should still be here. That's everything that happened that got her killed was built on a lie. So there's that. But the only joy is knowing ultimately these pigs will be turned into bacon. That it took 2.5 years, and it took going beyond the state to the feds. And in a world where we have just seen the Supreme Court take away reproductive rights and all kinds of shit, it is nice to see the federal government do something right for a change. 2.5 years, but you don't get to kill us and get away with it anymore, you fucking pigs.
What's the max sentence?
These are Fed charges, sir. It ain't good. Let me see if I can find out. Botch raid, a false story.
That's probably the part that's going to get him fried. Honestly, I don't even think killing her was is the main reason they're going to fry.
You make a good point.
Because if it wasn't falsified and this happened, I don't think we'll be in this position.
I mean, technically, you can say this is manslaughter. All right, so I have nothing showing what time they're facing, but if this resulted, the inference here, if this bullshit resulted in her death, then I think we can safely say manslaughter.
Should be murder. Well, it's probably going to be manslaughter. That makes sense.
It could be murder. I'm using what I know of law from Maryland, of course. It's murder too. It wasn't.
But it's different in every state.
I know, but it's murder. At best, it's murder too. You're probably going to get manslaughter. But either way, just a short time ago, these pigs thought they were going to walk scot free. Surprise! You're not.
That's good.
You're gonna get turned to bacon.
The fact it took this long, and the fact that they had to go with the feds. And the fact that, like I just said, that this is probably they're gonna fry it not because they killed a black person. The sister is probably because the optics leading up to that.
Well, now they are. Because
no, I'm saying the fact that all this had to happen and get to this point, well, this should have been taken care of right then and there. It's not making me feel good. And like I said, since you said the Eric Chauvin thing or whatever punk name is, that is not nothing is like I said, you said pigs are gonna fry every time they do that. And I said no one is getting that they're not, and even they do, it's not gonna stop people from being killed. Like I said, there's been plenty of people being killed. I haven't sent you everything because you get tired of shit. So it's like everyone is not going to get it. So I thought the end goal was to get this to stop happening.
Right.
It doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Well, you gotta, like I said, it goes back to that analogy I made a while back when I said, like, look, if you and your brother have been getting away with certain things for a long, long time, all of a sudden your parents say, you know what, I'm about to beat your brother's ass. What's this gonna make you do? Ooh, probably shouldn't do it anymore. It's taken a while. but the message will be
Yeah,
clear.
but like I said, but I have to counter that analogy with, okay, your father said that, so you go to mom. Her mom's on your side. Who's mom for the cops? Government. You
Good
know,
point.
the union.
Mhm.
Like I said, they have two of the most powerful things you can have in this country on their side. Does that make them completely immune like they used to be? No. Will there be some cracks and some sacrifices? Yes. But for the most part, you're still protected. Like I said, who do you, like I said, this is one of those messed up situations. It's like, if you get pulled over or whatever, something happened, he start messing with you, you fear for your life. It's like, who do you call? The person you're going to call is right there.
Right.
And even if someone else is there with them, what are they going to do? There is somewhere instances that they try to check each other, but you see what happens to the ones that got checked by their own people. So it's like they're gonna cover up for it. We seen it in the damn wire. What the dude was covered up for son. After he smacked kid with the gun. It's like, this is what I need you to say. This is what happened. So it's like, nah, like, shout out to Wire, bro. One of the greatest shows ever. But
My
yeah,
top
this
two all
is
time.
yeah, it's one of, it might be dropping on my list, but it's okay. That's a whole nother subject. But dang, this shit gotta fall. Like I said, if you want me to be 10 toes down all the way in, this gotta fall. Until we get to that point, I don't care. We're just gonna keep getting appetizers. I'm ready for the full
I
meal
mean,
and
well,
dessert.
Obama
Hungry.
told us when Obama told us when you know say defund the police, you lose people. So we got a little
I
ways
mean,
to
we
go.
losing people? All right, never mind. We already losing people. What's the point? What we saying, Obama? Y'all being frank. I'm not even
You
trying to be an asshole, but like, come on, we already lose. So who else we gonna lose?
stupid, Jeff.
It's a
But
joke. That's not the joke.
eh, that but I do not know the time they're facing, but I'm still oh boy, the storm clouds are forming, and I predict, I'm looking at my crystal ball that I see manslaughter coming down the pipe soon,
About
and
15, 20 years. Okay.
I I don't think it's gonna be real fun for a pig behind bars. Just
It's not. But
just saying, just saying. All right, so the last thing we're gonna close this thing out here. Good stuff, good stuff. So Andre Iguodala said that there's no team, there's no Michael Jordan team that he thinks would lose except the Dream Team to the 2012 Olympic. Now, when we talk about the Dream Team, talk about the '92 Olympic team that comprised of everyone that made the NBA at the time. When I look at the roster on the 2012 Olympic team that Iguodala was a part of, I get where he's going. I can see his point. I'm not sure I'm riding with it because to me, even as they were constructed, at everyone's point in their career at that time, and on the 92 team, I, um, I gotta say that the 2012 team is a little light in the ass up front. You asking a lot. You got, let me see here. LeBron can play the four, but you got Tyson Chandler, Anthony Davis, uh, Kevin Love up front, and you asking them to deal with Karl Malone, Ewing, David Robinson. That's a Charles Barkley. That's a big ass ask. And then you still got Bird at the three. That's a big ass ask. Like they a little light in the ass up front. So if they try to go bucket for bucket, I think it's gonna be a problem because you got on this 2012 team, you got KD, LeBron, Kobe, Russ, and Melo still there, and Chris Paul's pushing the point, and you got a young Harden. You got some killers, but y'all lighting the ass up front. If the 92 team slows it down, remember you got a 6'9" point guard. If the 92 team slows it down, just dumps it down low and play their style of basketball, and it ain't like they ain't got no 3-point shooters. Between Reggie Miller, Chris Mullin, Larry Bird, so they got some 3-point killers out there too. Stockton is playing nasty D. You got to stop that screen and roll between Malone and Stockton. If they play their brand of basketball and slow the game down, then Jordan and Pippen. I get Iguodala, but if it's one game, I'll ride with it. If it's one game, I'm going 2012. If it's a 7-game series, I can't see that 92 team losing 4 games. But what you got?
Okay. So you're saying we're comparing teams as is, not peak of their power.
Not peak of their powers, even as is. I'm saying even as is. You still got Ewing draining baseline jumpers at 7-footer. You still got a diesel buff David Robinson. You still got a killer in Karl Malone. Ain't nobody on this roster guarding Karl Malone in the paint. You still got Barkley
guarding any of those centers. That's 90s got some of the crazy centers ever. That's the big bad era. Which is why I think Dream Team 2, I might agree with Shaq, might be the first one. But that's what other big. But because you got Shaq and Olajuwon at the peak of their powers. Well, Shaq may not the peak of his powers, but he was still Shaq.
He's a monster.
So if it's the way it is, if it's one game, yeah, I guess I agree. It could be 2. It can go either way. If it's 7 games, yeah, I'm taking the Dream Team because they ain't got no answer for the big man of the Dream Team, and they can still shoot 3. So even if they say for modern era, imagine Bird taking more 3s. Imagine Chris Mullin taking more 3s.
Right, you got Mullin, Bird,
and John Stockton can shoot. That's his only problem. He didn't shoot much because he wanted to pass, but when he shoots, people in the players in the league tell you like they were more scared of him than Karl because he can shoot. He just chose not to for that reason. But and then Magic, and then you still got a young top at the peak of his power, Jordan. Right. You still have Pippen.
Right.
Was Drexler on that team?
Oh wow, I forgot about Drexler. Now
you got Drexler peak his powers too.
Yeah, you got Drexler.
So yeah, I'm going Dream Team. I forgot about you got Mullin. Yeah, I'm going Dream Team. I'm sorry. Maybe the 08 team would be better against the Dream Team. Because that's when you had D-Wade, I'm sure, Bosh, Melo, Kobe more toward the peak of his powers.
But the LeBron. You still lighting the ass.
You had Dwight Howard in that team, I think. So
Dwight Howard, but
you don't think Dwight couldn't guard someone else? Like let's not disrespect. This was Dwight, like in his prime.
I'm not disrespecting Dwight, but Dwight ain't faced Pat Ewing 7-footer fadeaway baseline jumper. David Robinson wasn't no light dude. David Robinson was
Dwight. He was Dwight.
And
that's why I said 08 might be a better matchup for the Dream Team than 12, in my opinion. I gotta see who else is on that roster. I think Chris Paul was on that roster. I know D-Wade was.
You said the 08 team?
Yeah, this is when D-Wade was at the peak of his powers. This was when Kobe was at the peak of his power. LeBron was starting at his peak of his powers. Melo was at the peak of his powers. Chris Bosh was at the peak of his powers.
Let me see who's on that.
Dwight Howard was at the peak of his powers. Who else is on that team?
Oh, nah. They getting cooked. Oh, sorry. They getting cooked. The 08 team? Nah, they're getting cooked. That's Boozer, Jason Kidd, LeBron, Darren Williams, Michael Redd, D-Wade, Kobe, Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul, Tayshaun Prince, Carmelo Anthony. They're getting cooked. Some boys getting cooked. No, they getting cooked. They are getting flamed. Yeah, they're getting flamed. I'm sorry. The 08 team is getting cooked. Maybe you mean like the '08, well, 4 years before that, 2004.
No.
Because
There
this
you
'08
go.
team this '08 team is getting flamed. They 92 was eating their lunch. It ain't even close. 92 was eating their lunch. Now Draymond did have a bold statement saying that 2016 Dubs team would have smacked the
No.
Bulls.
No. Not 2016, 2017.
I mean, you there. Well, like I said, we talked about this. There is no team ever constructed. There is no championship team ever constructed that would have been able to beat that championship Warriors team.
Which one?
There is no champion. The Steph, Clay, Durant team. There is no
That's
championship
2017.
team.
You said
Yeah,
2016. You
Oh,
weren't
my
on
bad.
it.
2017.
I wanted to
My
say
bad.
that they did lose. They lost to LeBron. So
Yeah. But asking, yeah, that 27, that next team. There's no way.
2017.
There is no. They just straight
There's
washed. They don't wash the Bulls.
there's no
Like,
team.
they don't wash the Bulls.
There's no team beating that team.
Yeah, I think the
I
the
think it would
01
be
Laker team is one of the greatest championship teams ever constructed, and I got them beating the Bulls, but there's no way. Like I said, I think one of those Miami championship teams is definitely honorable mentions. One of the greatest championship teams ever constructed as well.
Which one? 2013 or 2012?
Either way, that LeBron D Wade Bosh team, and all of the little minor pieces around it. You still had a Gary Payton that was good. Jason Williams. You had a lot. No, that was the Shaq team.
That's
Sorry.
06.
Yeah, my bad. That was a Shaq team. My bad.
You don't even know
My
what
bad.
you're about.
My bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, this '08 team gets mashed on. It's not even close. But to Iguodala's point, if it's a one game thing, like one game of the Olympics or NCAA, I can see that. But this is a 7-game series.
Nah.
Y'all too light in the ass.
I still, like I said, I was just thinking off the top of my head who was on that dream team. I forgot all about Drexler.
Yeah, you
So I was
got
like,
Drexler.
yeah,
Now, again, Drexler
did not do that team.
Who's your two guard though? Because Drexler ain't gonna be no defensive killer. But yeah, and that's where it gets ugly. Because in that backcourt, quote unquote, as far as the killers go scoring, Durant, LeBron, and you got Russ back there.
And said, honorable mention for the dream team. Isaiah should have been on that team if you took out freaking
we will not slander Duke players.
Yes, we are. We should take him out, put Isaiah Thomas on that team.
Slander Duke
Isaiah Thomas should have been on that team.
Let's go, Devils.
Christian Lane.
Let's go, Devils.
Yeah, why the fuck was he there? Put Isaiah Thomas on.
We will not have Duke slander. That is not allowed on this show.
He did not deserve to be on that team. Stop.
The greatest college basketball player to ever live?
Hold on. Wasn't Shaq drafted that year?
Yes.
So they picked Layden over Shaq?
The greatest college basketball player to ever live?
I'm done. So he actually, if we were doing the college route, he shouldn't even went over Shaq. I think even Shaq said that shit. I just thought about Shaq.
Shaq wasn't that dude.
What are you talking about? He wasn't that dude.
Wasn't that dude.
Yes, he was that dude.
Later went to 4 straight Final Fours, back-to-back titles, one of the biggest shots.
Ain't nobody in there, right? Who got drafted number 1? So who was really that dude? Who was really that dude?
Shaq lyrics. Who was really that dude? Who
was really that dude?
Not Alonzo Mourning.
Who was really that dude? Later didn't get drafted number 1. He got drafted. I don't even know what the hell he got drafted.
He got drafted number 3.
Okay, so if he was really that dude, Shaq, even the league knew Shaq was better. Come on, bro. Shaq
it was all about what they needed at the time. Orlando wanted to make a big splash and get Shaq. If you hey, hold on. This is the Portland argument. Jordan is clearly better than Sam Bowie, but what did Portland already have? Clyde Drexler. They didn't need another 2 guard.
Play them together.
That's how the NBA was played in 1984, sir.
Right.
I already have.
You can literally put Drexler at the 3. You could put Jordan at the 2. Actually, you could put Jordan at point guard if you want to. He actually
You
did that.
had two dudes that did the same thing at the time. You had two dudes that did the
Bruh,
same thing.
somebody, a GM said it back then. He said, we need a center. We'll put Jordan at center. Like, bro, you don't pass up on it because of
If
what you
I
got.
have Drexler, I don't need Jordan, but I do need a dominant big in Sam Bowie.
Wait, Sam,
Now yeah. Portland could have drafted Jordan. They chose Sam Bowie. You needed a dominant big at that time. It was 1984. You needed a dominant big.
someone's not saying he wasn't nice, but hindsight's 2020. But
And again, I already got Drexler. Drexler's a Hall of Famer. Ain't like I missed. I got Drexler there. He didn't be in the Hall of Famer.
He didn't win a title.
Here we go. Here we go. Greatest 50 players of all time. Greatest 75 players of all time.
He won a title with a large one, but I'm saying he won a title in Portland when he was the band.
Lord.
Okay.
Okay. Real quick. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Your level of concern for monkeypox from I don't give a hell to I'm not leaving my house. Where you at?
I don't
know.
I'm not really concerned because the only reason I would be concerned is I'm still trying to figure out how it gets transmitted completely. I know they they say sexual stuff, cool. And I know they say physical contact, cool. But I'm not sure if they said if somebody that's affected touches something, you touch it. Is it like COVID?
Yeah, it is. Basically it's COVID, just not airborne. You can't breathe it. You got to touch something, touch somebody.
So it's not
other
airborne.
than that.
So
no,
okay. I thought somebody said it was airborne. See, if it's airborne, then yeah, I might stay my ass home. But if it's not, then I'm good.
No, you gotta basically it's COVID, just not airborne. You gotta wipe everything down. You gotta go back to the pounds, like no handshakes, no daps, just pounds.
You get a salute. Don't touch me. But we ain't playing with that shit. So even I know it's not gonna kill you, but
and that's the thing, it's not deadly. It's just ugly. It's not deadly.
Oh my God, that's nasty. It's like
no worries on your part. You light skin, you good.
I'm not light skinned.
Oh my God.
I'll let the sun shine in my eye for me. I'm full-blood Nigerian African.
Yo, really?
I'm black. I'm black, man. It's okay.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black.
Might be a topic from next week. Race war.
I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm black, y'all. If you have not seen, you're not seeing Fear of a Black Cat, you will not get that joke. But I know everyone else out there is laughing right now. But okay, all right. Run it back. Recap. Props to Bill Russell for everything. Sadly, I think Bird will get a bigger celebration, but for a multitude of reasons. Let's get Brittney home. Let's please get Brittney home. This is a cluster of a situation, and honestly, when I look at it from my humble perspective, race is like the third or fourth reason this is ugly. There are other reasons why this is ugly that have nothing to do with being black. I'm so happy that even though it's taking 2.5 years, I'm happy these pigs are ultimately going to fry. This is leading up to manslaughter. Because when you say in certain language that, well, such and such occurred, resulting in her death, tell me that's manslaughter without being manslaughter. So yeah, you're about to get turned to bacon. Like I said, Andre Iguodala, I got to ride with you kind of. If it's one game, I'm with you. It's a 7-game series. I'm going 92 Dream Team. And my level of monkeypox concern is Hakuna Matata means no worries. Hakuna Matata means no worries. Your recaps are.
For the rest of your days. Rest in peace are Mr. Bill Russell. You are a legend. You were respected. Even if you weren't respected and loved in your own city that you played for, it's okay. And like I said, I do think Larry Bird and the city of Boston will have more praise for obvious reasons. Bring BG home. Yes. Like I said, I think race plays a part, but I think it's a smaller part. I don't, but it's definitely in the face, it's political. Um, yeah, pigs about to fry. It's not Canadian bacon, US bacon. Monkeypox concerned level, like I said, if it's not airborne, then I'm not concerned. Just wear gloves. I already washed my hands and stuff, so I ain't.
All right.
And yeah, thank you for listening.
Absolutely. So
Come
thank
back.
you all.
Are you gonna
for
get that
tuning in.
monkeypox?
There you go, yo. How you gonna threaten somebody with a non-deadly disease? But anywho, I'd like to thank you all. Tuning in. Awesome fun. Love doing this. Love having you all here. Don't like what we're saying, by all means, hit us in the comment section. Like what we're saying, by all means, hit us in the comment section. We love it. Good, bad, indifferent. On behalf of the I Said It podcast. Peace.
Yeah.